Late summer is here. It's almost fall. All of our grass lakes. Time to start throwing a frog. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Ryan here, and I'm sure probably a lot of y'all have been noticing here, we're almost getting into October. We're almost halfway through September. The frog tournaments are starting to pop up. Frog tournaments on Chickamauga, Gunnersville, the Spro ones, they're starting to pop up. Frog only tournaments. Well, you shouldn't just fish the frogs only in those frog only tournaments. You should start fishing a frog a lot more often. Now, there's pretty much two ways that I go with a frog, and that's pretty much primarily about the only way I stay when I'm actually throwing a hollow body frog, just like this one right here. Okay, this is one of my favorite colors. This is a Booyah pad crasher, and it's gray, and I don't know, there's something about gray. I just absolutely love gray. But then also one of my favorite ones too is these Spro Bronze Eye Pop Frogs, just like this one right here. These things are one of my favorite frogs when the grass is a little bit sparser. When the grass is a little bit thicker, I like these frogs. Now, the popping frogs, you can still walk them just like you normally can. They work great. They got some really big hooks on them, especially ones from Spro. They got really strong hooks here. You know, that one's got this is just a solid black one that I've put a different skirt in. That's got a black and blue skirt. Especially for like dirty water. I really like the ones like this. But this one overall, for some reason, whether it's bluegill, whether it's shad, it doesn't matter. This one right here is one of my favorite colors to throw. White, green pumpkins, red ear sunfish type colors, which is one of my other favorite colors from Spro, is the red ear sunfish. It works really well. It's hard to beat just a plain old white frog though too. It doesn't matter, just grab one and throw it. But a couple little things that I like to do to my frogs, okay? So I never, ever pull a frog out of the package, just like this little snag-proof frog right here. I never pull one out of the package and leave it and throw it just like how it is. Now, first of all, when it comes out of the package, sometimes the legs are a little bit off, okay? So, you know, that's an easy fix, okay? So you just come in here, you just kind of move the legs around, and you pull the legs down here until you get kind of like a even right here with the legs. So, but the legs are really long, okay? So the legs are really long, as you can see right there. And don't ever throw one straight out of the package. I just don't, okay? The snag-proof fat frogs, which is exactly what this one is. So you can see the snag-proof right there. The snag-proof fat frogs, they have a lot wider of a bite on the hook. They're a bit longer. You know, they have a bigger, bulkier profile. But the biggest thing with the snag proofs is they're already kind of soft, okay? So what you need to do though, before I do anything, is to take these out and take them out of the package and bring water in a crock pot or a boiling pot, spaghetti pot, whatever. Bring it up to boil. And you just take these frogs and you just throw them in there. When the water gets up to boil, I pretty much, as soon as I dip them in there, I count basically to about six, sometimes 7, roughly. It doesn't really matter. Some people will say 5, some people will say a little bit longer. I typically count to about 6 or 7. That actually softens up this plastic a little bit. And you'll see how soft, just how easy right here it is to, I mean, I'm barely pressing right there, and it's coming. That's what happens when you boil one, okay? It loosens up this plastic, makes it a lot softer, okay? So this one in particular, after I've boiled it, I've actually, unlike these two, this one has a little bitty secret inside of it. And what it actually has in it has a rattle I put in it. Does it make a difference? I don't know, but I seem to like it. I've just put your regular old jig rattle in here, and it has a little rattle to it compared to this one. It don't have a rattle in it. Same thing with this fresh out of the packet snag proof. No rattle. Pad crasher with the rattle. You can hear the rattle. So anyways, after I boil them, to get it up here, never throw a frog on anything much under 65-pound braided line. 65-pound braided line, even 80-pound braided line, just depends. Big 7'3" plus heavier action rod. You're throwing this thing, and then thick nasty stuff, you gotta, when you get them on, you gotta get them out. So you know, it's really important to have a big heavy rod, a nice strong reel, and 65 to 80-pound braided line. That's an absolute must that you got to have. So the last little thing though right here, so we've boiled our frogs, okay? We're going to take our skirt here, and we never, like I said, we never throw them out of the package as is. We'll come right here, take a pair of scissors, and what we'll actually do here is we're going to make this thing walk side to side better. This is how you make it walk side to side better. Hold the frog away from you, just as you can see, just like this. I come in here just about right in here, and I basically make almost a 45, okay? And I cut the skirt on the leg just like that. We're going to have about, you know, from the end of the leg right here where it's coming out of the body to the tip right here, we got somewhere around 3 inches, a little less than 3 inches, give or take. So we've cut it at a 45 going inwards. We're going to take this one, we're going to cut it at a 45-degree inwards as well. And there we go. Having that shorter little length will help you impart better side to side walking action in your frog, especially when you're throwing it in sparse grass situations like we're going to start seeing in the fall when some of the grass starts dying off on some of these lakes like Chickamauga, Nickajack, Watts Bar, Guntersville. Frogs are going to be very, very important. They should stay on the deck of your boat if you want to catch some big largemouth, especially those vegetation eaters. There's absolutely nothing more exciting than bombing a frog over a big old grass mat and getting a bite on one. What to look for real quick when you're throwing a frog? Using more ears than I am anything. I'm actually going to pull up these grass mats. We're going to look around. We're going to be listening for bluegill. We're going to be listening for bluegill making a little popping noise. You can actually hear them eating out. The bluegill are sitting there underneath the mat, and they're kind of plucking away at the grass and the algae and stuff that's growing on the bottom side of the grass mat. So anytime you get in an area where you hear grass mat and you hear those little bitty popping noises going on, there's bluegill present. There's definitely going to be bass present. So do those tips with the frog. Shorten up the legs, cut them at a little bit 45-degree angle so they'll walk back and forth just like this, a little bit easier. Do that. Boil your frogs, and above all else, have fun. Go throw it. You'll get a big blowout. Stick it in your hand. Don't get frustrated. I promise you it will happen.